Good.
Did you miss us? Let's get right to the question you don't want to answer. How do you handle the human element of being back here against your own and how do you deal with all that?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm excited that Penn State's doing well. Happy for the program, but more importantly, it's been a great journey for us. You know, this is my third year at Notre Dame, and had an opportunity to build it with Coach Freeman and get to this point, and it's been a long time. So, you know, we're at the brink of being where we wanted to be when we first had our conversation. So that's where our focus is.
I know you have never made anything about you. I'm not sure.
Andrea is going to answer it for you.
Yes, she is. I read her story. It's going to be better than mine, I promise you. The journey you've had to be this close to the ultimate in college football, what does just being on this stage mean to you?
It means everything. I mean, that's why you do it, you know, to have this opportunity and to navigate which is a challenging road. Like, it's hard to get here. People think, you know, when you get here, you'll be back next year. I was just saying to somebody the other day, you know, you know, you think you're going to get back to, you know, that game or wherever you thought, you know, you would be when you're there. And I don't take anything for granted at my age. I'm very grateful for this opportunity and just staying focused, just staying humble, just staying in the moment, not worrying about anything, whether it's the fact that I went to Penn State or anything on the outside, just concentrating and just being really, really focused on the moment and being the best I can for these players. You know, they deserve that.
I think you're only 5 years older than I am, so I'm going to strike the at your age.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. No, I'm. You know, for me, again, I love the people that I had, you know, the opportunity to form relationships with when I was here. Obviously, the student athletes that I've had a chance to work with, but kind of reconciled that stage and I've had great moments since. You know, I was sitting there hugging my kids. We had this amazing photo in the Sugar Bowl the other day, and I just said to my youngest daughter, I said, 3 years ago we did this, you know, we were in Arrowhead Stadium. We did the same thing. Brought the stage out, and we were going to the Super Bowl, and I said, that's where we're at. You know, we have that kind of opportunity. That's the magnitude of where we are.
To answer this question, this is a little bit easier because I know it's a little different, but you work here with the Lions, you work here with the Bengals. Does that make it seem a little more normal?
Oh, I think so. I think there's some merit to that. I think for me, it's just a great opportunity to represent Notre Dame and be a part of this program and be on this stage. You know, we have so many young people in this room, you know, that have worked really hard to get to this point. And if I help them in any small way, then that's what it's all about.
Because we look at I think it's like 8 of the last 10 national teams. They've already been like top 5 in points allowed, top 5 in yards allowed. And you guys are on pace to do something very similar. In this era, everybody thinks it's go offense. It's how do you still build a great defense in this era?
Yeah, it's really hard. It's harder, I think, when you're an independent because you're not. There's not 6 or 7 or 8 teams that kind of play the same style of football. So we played Army and Navy that required a completely different defense. We played USC, played A&M, we played Georgia. You know, we played a lot of different systems, if you will, and that's our challenge. So, we have bright kids, we have football kids, we have kids that are just that want to learn, that want to be the best that they can be. But we've developed a system that it's got to be pliable. It's got to be able to move from week to week. The challenges that we had this week are different than the challenges we had last week, and I could say the same thing about Indiana and SC the week before that. So the kids have done a great job of embracing that, and I think that's how you become relevant on defense in this day and age. And then, you know, the big four, just, you know, turnovers, red zone, third down, you know, those, you know, fourth down, those are the things that are really, really important.
Al, as a former tight end, what did you learn about defense while you were, you know, playing at Penn State?
Not much. Our defense was really good back then. Not much. You know, I think you learn something in every step that you take in the journey. You know, when I went to Detroit, Andrea wrote about it, but and we talked about it. But Coach Caldwell called me and said, "Well, come on up and coach the tight ends. You played tight end for me at Penn State. Come up and coach." So I said, "Okay, great." And I learned so much in that year, like just working with Jim Bob Cooter and Coach Callahan and Coach Caldwell and Ron Prince and all those guys. Just doing the blocking diagrams, doing the pass protections, all that. So go full circle now. Now you go coach defense, and now you're the coordinator. Like there's not a run that I can't picture where who the mic is and where the zone's going to or what the gap scheme's going to. So to answer your question, all of those things contribute to the way you see the game on game day and the way you prepare for it.
Now, what are some of the lessons from 30 years ago you learned from Joe that stay with you even to this day?
The overarching lesson that has always stayed with me is that if you take care of the person will become what you want as an athlete. So whether it's the character development, the community service, be demanding academically, be disciplined, form great habits, be a team player, all of those things. And then if you care about the relationship, if you care about the player, as a person, he'll take care of the rest. He'll make the journey to becoming a really, really good, football player. So the athlete part of it is the byproduct of everything else.
One of your players this week said you were like the godfather of Notre Dame's defense. How does that make you feel? And how will you embrace it?
Who was it? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. It's funny, Don telling me that I'm like the godfather, right? So, no, I think, I love sharing. I feel like I have a wealth of experience, and I've crossed over into that wisdom phase in my life now, and I can share, and so I love sharing with them and the experiences, and even on this journey we're in now, and even with the staff that we have, just going through. I'll give you a quick example of I call it pattern recognition. Like, okay, I've been here before, so we beat Oakland in the wild card game. So I know it's a long-winded answer, but I'm trying to get to the point here. So we beat Oakland in the wild card game, or Vegas, whoever they were then at that point. And so we're getting ready, and we think we're going to play. I think it was. We think we're going to play the Bills because we were the last seed. And that was the night that the Chiefs scored in 15 seconds. So you prepare all day Sunday for one or two teams, and now all of a sudden now you're playing Tennessee. So now we got to go to Tennessee, and then they give you the Saturday game on top of that. So now but you learn how to do that. So like the fact that our game in New Orleans was delayed, it's like, okay, I've seen this before. We have a short week. Here's what we have to do: X, Y, and Z. So I'm grateful that they look at it like, okay, he's been here, and let's just trust the vision that he has for it, because that's important.
Now, you talked about sharing your wealth of knowledge. Have you been able to share any background about your playing days, particularly what you did in 1990?
You're always a way better player decades later than you actually were. Yeah. No, I mean, I was a above average player in a really good program, and was a leader and a captain, and that's probably one of the greatest honors that has ever been bestowed on me. Just being a captain, being voted by your peers.
How much is Penn State still part of you now? Do you still have a lot?
It's hard. Yeah, I mean, you never lose your friends, and certainly even some of the people that are on the staff that I'm friends with, Anthony Poindexter and I. Anthony was, we're dear friends from UVA. I coached him at UVA, and then I coached with him. Marcus Hagens, I was with him at UVA too. So, but no, I wish them well. I haven't been back in a while, and it's really because my season runs congruent with them. All my friends go back. either for spring ball or during the season, and so my season's congruent with them. So I wish them success and great things, but really my focus has been on our journey.
Have you heard from many of your teammates, former Penn State teammates, in the last few days?
A little bit, but the guys who know me know that it's not like the old days. We're in a new, we're navigating a new era in the bowl games, if you will. This is not, we just landed. There's not going to be like 3 or 4 days of like fun, and then you kind of zero in. Like, you have to be zeroed in. So it's not. I probably won't see anybody that in terms of that, but just locked in the hotel and getting ready to go.
Going.
Playoff destruction. We knew Notre Dame knew to get to the national championship, we'd have to play first. The teams that get to January 20th, they're going to play either 16 or 17. It's a lot of football.
It is.
I mean, it's a great problem to have, but what is the unintended consequence of an NFL season for 18, 19, 20 spring?
I don't know. That's a deep question. Like, my mind is like so like zeroed in on what we have to do 2 days from now. That's a step back, big picture question. But I think depth is.